hope so.
Always
and
something.
That's actually pretty cool too. Once again, oh yeah, sorry. Hello, folks. We're too busy looking at all the fancy levels and stuff on this wonderful digital monitor, and I'm sitting there trying to look at the pie chart that shows the time going down on the song. But this is pretty good.
And then it gets
Nice.
that cue where you just fade out.
Bow, bow, bow. Anyways, hello, folks. Partloadian Podcast. Let's see. You know, it was funny because we left off on, you know, the last time we did this, you know, we were talking about all these different projects and stuff we're doing, and you have started quite a well, it's not new, but you're restarting a new thing again. You got some chicks over there in the corner.
Yep, right behind me.
That's fucking awesome. We started the and this is something, you know, because you guys out there in internet land, you don't need to know everything that's going on all the time with us, but there has been this big fat fucking rabbit just chilling out in the yard. It's not a rabbit I've ever seen before. It's either got to be somebody's escaped pet or whatever.
But didn't you say it had a collar on it?
No, dude, I thought it was a tag in its ear. Leslie got closer to it. She's like, no, that's a tick.
What the fuck?
It's a big ass tick, dude. But I mean, you've seen ticks on dogs before.
Fuck
They
yeah.
get real big. But,
Stray dog, it's fucking sad though. Like,
Yeah,
tick
I
is
mean,
so fat, all the dog has to do is shake and it falls off. Ugh.
Yeah, it's gross. But anyways, you know, we're sitting there. I decided I was gonna try and catch it. Jimmy had to have a heart trap. He's got the machinery. I got the know-how. Got that thing loaded up with tomatoes and lettuce and bananas.
With all powers combined.
If it's a boy, I'm calling it Capricoso. I like that name. And then if it's a girl, Leslie said it's going to be Estelle. That's fine.
I'm going to just let you all decide, but in the back of my head, when I first saw him, his first word that came in my head when I saw that giant-ass rabbit was fucking Leviathan.
Yeah, you know what? And she was saying that was pretty good, too. You know what? You know what I'm also thinking, that we haven't caught that rabbit? It makes me want to just buy a rabbit.
To eat.
Well, you can't. I don't want to just buy one rabbit to eat. I would
gotta
get
tell
two
you.
rabbits and then let them breed. And then
Well, no,
eat.
that would be the way to go. I was going to say, it's nothing against rabbits, but if you're going to do rabbits, breeding them and doing something like that would be good. Otherwise, just keeping a rabbit by itself in a cage, one is like, God damn, this motherfucker needs to get around it. And two, people think fucking hamsters and shit like that get fucking gross taking care of them.
Oh,
especially,
no, dude.
my God.
No, I already had the idea, dude, with the cage.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna build it. I was gonna have it be about 3 feet by 10 feet, all 2x4s wrapped in wire, and then either the top of the cage was gonna have a solid board over top of it, or the bottom of the cage was gonna have a solid board on the bottom of it with latches. And if it was like the bottom, it would be so fucking easy. Because I mean, if it's made by if it's made with like 2x4s, 3 feet by 10 feet, just wrapped in wire, I can lift that up. You pop those hinges, carry the whole fucking thing out to the woods, pop those hinges, drop the floor, let all the fucking Cocoa Puffs fucking fall into the woods, and then slap that bitch back in. That was my plan. Because I know people who've had to take care of rabbits. And yeah, dude, they constantly shit. That's what they do. It's what it is.
When we had one here, of course, it was an adopted pet from.
But yeah, man,
People were like, "Oh, I want a rabbit. I don't want to
just
take care of this anymore." Oh, yeah,
and you can't just have one, you know?
No.
Yeah.
We ended up putting it outside, and it was happier. It was weird because he was so big in this cage and shit.
Well, that's the thing. You can't just keep it in a cage too, like,
and not like letting them roam free. It was actually around the time we got Pork Chop, the pot-bellied pig, when he was tiny. You know, before people get rid of their pigs because they're like, oh, it's so cute. It's so cute when they're small, and then oh, it's really big and destructive, and I don't want to take care of it. Anyway, in his piglet time, the rabbit was bigger than Pork Chop. And he kind of would pull the fence up because we had the rabbit in this sealed area outside, where pork chop was at. And it had a roof for the rabbit, and then pork chop would rip the cage up, and then they'd just be chilling, and we just kind of let it happen. Nature happens eventually, but it was like that for a little bit, but it was weird. But he was happier chilling with that pig. I know at first he was like, what are you doing, you fucking hillbilly? This fucking big well, to him, big.
You're frightening me, hillbilly.
Coming at him with his fucking nose all flaring, like, And then it was like, all right, you're pretty cool. You eat the same foods I eat. I like carrots. Oh, now you're eating my carrots. Oh, you're a real fucking pig.
Get the fuck out of my garden, Capricoso. But
Son of a bitch.
It's funny because, and we were talking about that, because this is how we're I guess, trying to beginning on a, positive note.
Positive.
But we got on quite a tear before we decided if we were even going to try and record or not. We got once again a lot of other projects we've been trying to work on. I fill my stuff up with so much stuff. I found I don't know how to describe it. I found a knife, a butcher's knife, in a parking lot. So now I'm describing it as a parking lot knife. But if I say it like that, it sounds like something I picked up from a crime scene.
And that's what you cut yourself with?
Well, I cleaned it first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I cleaned it. I washed it before I sharpened it. I don't want to get fucking AIDS, blood.
I was going to say, imagine if you had found it in the Hard Times parking lot.
No. I found it in a parking lot. I found it in a parking lot out in Mineral. But anyways,
I mean, at least it wasn't a needle.
I sliced my middle finger and my ring finger trying to sharpen it, so I guess it's sharp. But we got all these projects we're trying to get done, and then it's like you sit there and you think about what stops you from your projects. What's the number one thing? Number one thing is fucking work. Like, work stops you from all the stuff you want to do. And I got up. My day started at 5:00 this morning, and normally it starts at 7:30, 8 o'clock. So it's like, oh man, my day started at 5:00 this morning, so it should end reasonably at 1:30, 2:30, right? That's an 8-hour day. And then I go and I finish up at 2:30. And it's like, oh, do you want to do more work? No, I don't want to do more work. I already worked 9 hours. And then you start thinking about that. You get that stuff from people. You'll hear not just bosses. You'd be like, oh man, you got to be thankful for that overtime. No, I'm not thankful for the overtime. And overtime's not a raise. Overtime is the time you worked longer than you were supposed to. And that's why they pay you more. It's not a raise. I'm not thankful for it. I'm not proud that I do it. I got shit that I want to do. That extra 2 hours that I worked and I wasn't supposed to, I could have knocked out our table. There's a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. No, that's how it is. That's why I'm happy where I work. 8-hour day. I like doing it definitely when I'm by myself, but when I have a crew with me, or if I'm under somebody else and it's they want to do hey, let's not take a half-hour lunch. Let's just take 15-minute break, something like that, tad longer, something like that. And it's 8 straight hours. That way you can get in and be out, eliminate the BS. Some people like their lunch. I personally don't like to eat that much in between anyway. I like to stay moving because and I just want to knock the shit out and get the fuck out.
But you're getting paid. If you take a 15-minute lunch,
if it's 15 minutes, we get paid. I'm sure higher ups don't like that.
Well, that's the thing.
But there's a lot of Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I was saying a lot of companies where we work, they get 30-minute lunch and then a 15-minute break, or sometimes 2 15-minute breaks. And a whole lot of them will do a 45-minute to an hour lunch, some of them even, and they only get a half hour taken off. So I know that's not my company. They don't want to give us a break at all. So I'm sure ownership probably wouldn't like that, but it's like, screw you.
No.
You're going to get more out of them than if they walk away and do their own thing. And then it's like you're sitting around longer. It's harder to get going again. It kind of evens out. If nothing else, it evens out.
No. And, with me, it's like no matter what I do, if I work, I forget what it is. 8 to 4, I guess, is an 8-hour day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But really, in actuality, I need to work 8 to 4:30 because they take a half hour out no matter what, right? Okay, that's fine. That's fine to get a half hour break. You don't have to make yourself groggy with food or whatever. But here's the thing. By law, maybe it's different from state to state, but in Virginia, if you are required to take a half hour lunch and you get that time taken out, no matter what, I work from 8 to 4:30 and don't take a lunch, and I still get that half hour taken out. That's just on me. That's just me being stupid. But that half hour that I have a lunch, answering the phone counts as work. Driving from job to job counts as work. Anything that involves my capacities in my job counts as work. So I stop doing everything. Now, some of my coworkers didn't quite understand that. And I was like, well, have you ever tried to call the office and ask for help for like maybe you needed information on a job? You didn't know what was going on. You didn't know if the customer was home. You ever try and call between like 11:30 and 12:30? Yeah. Did you get an answer? No. Yeah. That's because the office staff takes an hour break and they don't do anything. They're not supposed to. By law, they're not supposed to. But if I'm said, oh, well, it's it's that time of year, and we get busy. Sometimes you just have to eat your lunch when you go from job to job.
Fuck that.
No, yeah, exactly. Fuck that. I'm driving a truck. That's something I'm getting paid to do. If I'm eating lunch while driving, then I better be getting paid to do that. And it's really stupid to eat your lunch while you drive a company vehicle for insurance purposes and all that stuff. But, it's and this happens with every kind of company. You know what? You need to follow the rules.
Yeah.
You need to follow the rules.
Fuck that.
No. You follow those rules, and unless it cuts, if it cuts into the company's bottom line, then fuck the rules. But you follow the rules unless it cuts into our bottom line. That's every company, every single one. Doesn't matter. Maybe there's like the most wonderful company in the world. I haven't found one of those yet. But for the most part, it's like you need to follow the rules unless it fucks with our money. Then you break those rules and don't get caught. And if you do get caught, it's like we're like the CIA. We will deny everything that you did that we told you to do. That's
and they'll make up stupid rules, man. In terms of the lunch and break thing, I remember at a foreman's meeting, and we got a whole list of them to keep with us. All this new shit they were trying to do, all to save money. And the fucking owners standing up there talking. I probably told you about this, and I don't believe there's a lot of guys that are like, yes, sir, all the time. And everybody's going to be like that at first, even though I'll just like listen when it's like that dumb shit I'm about to tell you. He was like, on the list was at lunchtime now, you need to tell everybody to take their lunch in their work area. And I'm thinking, you want to tell them what to do with the time that you're not paying them. I am not telling these guys that at all, because if somebody told me that shit, depending on how they said it to me, I'd pretty much be like, fuck off.
Yeah, excuse
You're
me,
not
sir.
paying me now.
I don't mean to sound offensive. I'm going to say this as fancily as I can, but you can eat a burlap satchel full of phalluses. Yeah, fuck that.
And
you don't
dude,
tell
and a
people
lot
what
of
they can
guys,
do with the money.
they'll eat on the fucking
money, their
scaffold
lunch.
and shit like that. But you know what? When I do I don't want to eat my fucking work area. I've done it. There are times where like I'm busting ass trying to get out.
You packed your lunch,
But
and you don't want to fucking spend the small amount of time you have walking to your truck. Yeah, you take your lunch back, whatever.
But then there's the thing when they do, can do what you want, but they're always like, of course, you need to be working right at 12:30 if you take like you don't start walking back at 12:30. Pretty much like if you're up in the air and it takes you like 8 minutes to get to your fucking vehicle if your lunch is
so lunch starts at 12. You get lowered from the scaffold,
yeah, or
and then
climb
12,
down
10,
and walk. Yeah.
That lowering is your lunch break in that 10 minutes, and then you
They
only
do
have
that shit.
and then you only have 20 minutes. So then you take another 10 minutes to get your truck, and then you wolf down your lunch in 10 minutes, and then hey, guess what? You're 10 minutes late for work,
Yeah.
because it took you another 10 minutes to get to your fuck that.
They get like, dude, and it's pretty much my company I've seen do that. Nobody really, but it's whatever. I'll get on a job where you have a hard time getting people in there. You're gonna tell me to talk to guys like that? No.
No.
It's a job where we need people
like,
and can't get people. What the fuck are you thinking
the
being
thing
like
is,
that?
And the company that I work for, it sounds like I'm bad mouthing them. Like I've even had my boss say, like, look, we're gonna take it out of we're gonna take it out of your check. We have to. They don't have to, but they say that they have to. But what they have said is like, hey man, you get done at 4:00. You didn't take a lunch break. Fucking sit in a parking lot for a half hour. Do your paperwork. Once again, doing your paperwork is work, but it's like, hey, just sit. Like if I finished up at 4:00 and it was 7.5 hours instead of the 8, like, and they wouldn't. I'd hope they never have, but if they ever did, it's like, hey, we saw you sitting at that gas station parking lot from 4 to 4:30. What's up with that? Well, if you'll notice, at no point in my day did I ever stay in my truck at one point for a half hour, so that was my lunch. They're cool with that. But once again, though, when I hear stuff like, hey, just sit in your truck, do your paperwork. No. That's at the end of the word. Paper work. But it's, this was totally not what we were fucking rambling about in the kitchen fucking an hour and a half ago. And I would
government.
I would love to get into that. You know what? That's another part of it, because you know what? Everything that your company and my company says that they have to do is based on
it's all the same shit, only bigger. It's almost like the government's the GC, and then our companies are subs. It's that's how it is.
But there is one thing I want to do. I want to go run really quickly and grab my stupid nicotine pouches and some ice for this. But we were going on some rants, and I have a feeling I can do what I need to do, and you can fill in that time.
Oh no.
Oh no. No, but no, we were talking about I thought you hit the pause button. Like, no, stop. Boop. Wait. Oh, I'm gonna stop the shit. No. I'm gonna go run and grab some stuff. But no, we were talking about. We went on a couple of different rants, and if you would like to go into the lighter-hearted version of it, of the stand-up comedy world that we were talking about, we can do that. But
/ entertainment world.
Exactly. We yeah. You know what? Here, I'll open it up, because you had quite a
They
good,
like pizza.
Well, you didn't have to go into that particular part.
What do you get? What do you mean?
No, how there are people who, earlier on in their career, they made their bones being these like fucking rebels. And then once they got to a certain financial point, damn, was I too loud into the mic? Once they got to a certain financial point, you know, then they switched it up. You know, they made their bones making fun of minorities and every single thing that you weren't supposed, like, I'm so edgy. And then they got up on their pedestal, and once they got on that pedestal, they started pointing their fingers down at everybody else below them. You can't say anything about these groups anymore, they're protected.
You will not expose us.
Yes, that's nice.
You're gonna find out quick.
I don't know if you should have
Mr.
turned mine
Kathy?
down.
Apparently he turned out to be roadkill on Route 66. It's fine, Ryan. I'm taking over the show now. Take your break. We'll continue speaking truth.
Oh, okay. Hey, maybe you've got like the fast track on this one, demon.
What do you mean?
I don't know. You were talking about ministry earlier.
Oh yeah, Mr. Al Jurgensen. That son of a bitch. Oh yeah, you're a real rebel. When your side loses power, but your side is on all sides. Bitch.
Well, that's
Yeah, oh yeah, you're really fighting the system. You're nothing but a part of the system, bitch. I own you.
oh goodness. But now
I am the foundation of the Tower of Babel.
we
Oh man,
we were talking. Well, we were talking
what was
about,
that all about?
Oh, did you,
I mean,
oh,
Al Jurgensen's a dick, but I mean, goddamn, that's what was that?
Did you? You were still stuck in Satan.
I think I farted.
But no, like, you know, there were people like we mentioned so many different names, like you know, and it was people we used to like when we were younger. Patton Oswalt, David Cross, you know, these edgy comedians, and then it was just like, oh, that's right. We were younger, so we had this kind of liberal mindset. And then as soon as we got into the real world and started working and then realized how much money was coming out of our paychecks, we got conservative real fucking quick. And these people who basically got paid ridiculous amounts of money to work for
Did you say
minimal
we got conservative real quick?
didn't we?
Dude, make your point, because I want to. That always. This is what gets me going with the terms liberal and conservative.
Liberal, and
I believe we are more liberal than so-called liberals, which aren't liberals anymore.
No, not in political terms. We got very conservative when it came to, this is my money.
Oh yeah,
And I don't want it spent on stupid fucking shit. Like, hey man, roads, schools, that's great. But when you repave the same fucking 4-way intersection on Route 3 every fucking year when there's no damage done to it, and there's literally a dirt road that like kids die on every fucking like 3 years, it's like, why don't we pave that? Enough people don't drive on it. Get the fuck out of here. And then the schools, I want to fund the schools. But when it's like, oh man, our kids are getting really low test scores, what should we do? Well, we should just pay our unfireable teachers more money. And we've been doing that for about 2 decades now. and the kids are getting dumber and fucking dumber. The teachers are making more and more, and nothing is happening. It's like that's where I'm talking about.
It could also be some of the
that.
curriculum.
I want to know. I want to know where my money goes. And I want to see a result for it. I'm getting tired of it, and a lot of people are getting tired of it. I mean, we're just talking about like this is normal Virginia shit.
So are you saying you're fiscally conservative and socially liberal? In some ways. No, probably not. No, it's different now. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm socially liberal 20 years ago. I'm that socially liberal now.
And
socially liberal now is socialist liberal.
And I totally get it. And I can, this is one of those times where like somebody can sit there and say like, I totally get what you're saying. But in terms of this, you know it, me and you, it is going to sound weird. We've both gone through this transition and sat there and watched as this shit has shifted. And we have views that are, totally different now. We're on, it's like, what the fuck side was I thinking of being on at the time? But still have some of those views from that side, but that side lost it, you know? And then the other side, it's like, all right, now they took, like, the so-called conservatives used to be warmongers, and that's a big, fuck that war shit, fuck all these money-making war side thing. Anyway, it's weird now because now it's like the left, the so-called liberal side, that's like, pushes for war and fighting and shit, and it's like over dumb shit.
Well, now in terms of war, that one's gotten a little weird because
they both have their own wars that they won.
Exactly. So what it always used to be, and you would always hear about this, there's this pendulum, you know, there's this like there's, you know what? There's multiple pendulums, but the main one was there's this pendulum of left wing and right wing ideology. And if you stay center left or center right, you're kind of in that comfort zone. You spin too far left and you're in fascism. You spin too far right, you're in fascism. You spin too far left, you're in fucking socialism, right? But then fucking weird ass fucking leftists started calling Republicans like terms that they didn't really fucking understand, and nobody knows anything anymore. But like with the war thing, our government is trying to fund 2 proxy wars, and it's like they're succeeding. But when the left and the right both agree on how they want to spend the money that you don't want to spend, do you really have a choice? You don't.
Nope. You know what? Now it's so fucked up and so quote unquote divided at this point. The times where they've really come together on some of these bills are some of the scariest bills. Yeah. Like that banned TikTok bill. Motherfuckers, their vote. You know another one where they were all bipartisan, all together on the motherfucking Patriot Act.
And you know what? And I haven't looked into that bill, the TikTok bill. I looked. I just heard about it on the surface, and you know what I heard about? You know what I thought in my head? The government's like, we gotta ban TikTok because it's a Chinese app and they're stealing your information.
Yep.
What I hear is that the American government is gonna ban TikTok, but don't worry. There's going to be an American version. The United States government is getting tired of buying the stolen information from China. So we're going to make our own app. We're going to steal your information so we don't have to pay for it. That's what I hear in my head. I'm sure it's more complicated.
I've heard more about it, dude. It's very broad in terms of being able to ban shit. It's a reason
it's not
domestic.
It's not just the app. They're gonna create a bunch of different rules.
It's
that would
essentially
allow them
an internet
to ban
version of the Patriot Act. Oh, this is just for It makes you think. Oh, this is for our enemies abroad.
Is this just a relabeled net neutrality? Remember that shit during the Trump administration?
This sounds worse.
Yeah, but still, once again, is it everything that they wanted to do 8 years ago? But
in a
because
way,
they couldn't get
yes.
it done, they've got to do a new bill on steroids. Is that what they're trying to do? I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
yeah.
keep fucking interrupting. Go ahead.
It seems that way from what I've been hearing. The more I hear about it, the more it's like, whoa, this fucked up. And it's all sides that want it because, of course, the right's like, yeah, this stops the Chi-Coms, It's like, no.
There are, dude. You know what? You know what the problem is? I hate to say it, dude. It's boomers. It's a certain generational thinking in the government.
I think it
and
depends on the situation.
dude. In the government, there are. What's the average age of a senator? Or a
Oh, no,
congressman?
it's bad now. It's bad.
So
but they're
you've got-
also on their way out, so they're making whatever they can and taking care of their
But
fucking
yeah, but
families
there's-
because they
there's-
know.
There's these boomers in the government, and then there's these boomers who keep voting. I'm gonna vote red even if they're dead, blue no matter who. And
Yeah.
it's like, get the fuck out of here. What
I
the
go with
fuck
the
are you-
union.
It's stupid.
It is.
It's
But,
stupid.
but
thinking.
Ryan, it's also a time where there was a period of time, and I kind of remember it, where they were so close together because they were all aligned to certain things, and it wasn't good or bad. It was just pockets. It was the pockets. You had little things and ways to manipulate, but it didn't matter because you know how it didn't matter, because there was more of a handshake and they were cordial and probably a wink when somebody was leaving and somebody coming in, even if it was a one-term thing.
Oh yeah.
It's too different now. But the one thing you said, it is weird though. You with the left and right, I always find it weird because you say fascism on the right, But it's weird with me because they say
that's the way the pendulum is described.
It's weird it's described that but fascism is still centralized government essentially,
Well, that's
and
the
that's
thing.
that's left.
But that's the thing. The way that fascism and socialism have always been described are idealistically, it seems like different things, but it's two sides of the same coin. So yeah, when it comes to the pendulum, whether you're left or right, if you're center left or you're center right, that's that comfort zone where if you go too far left or you go too far right, you're essentially in
it's
the
like that
same thing where the government is taking control of every aspect of your life. We talked about
and
this.
that's bad. But this is what I think the one difference is, which I think is kind of fucked up. I mean, I know this is where they put it. I think there's only one word, not even a phrase, one word that puts fascism to the right, and that's nationalism. Being about the people in your country first, and not globalist shit. I really think that
you're saying that
they associate nationalism with fascism, and I think that's bullshit.
And isn't that weird?
I think it's bullshit.
Well, well, that's the thing too. Like, there's fascism, and then, but nobody. I mean, some people do, but most of the people who say so and so's a fascist, they couldn't tell you what fascism meant if their life depended.
You know how stupid
it is. You know what
is?
they always say? Fascism or nationalism. They always associate it with Nazism, which is national socialist,
which is also a centralized government.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
It's
the
these
other thing
weird
is
circles.
they like saying socialism. They should just say communism, because eventually it goes down a controlling road, and communism at the end of the day isn't about nationalism.
No.
I've noticed when it's communist, it's about
communism
about
is,
branching out them tentacles.
Maybe I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of like a good analogy here, but yeah.
Though they try to say North
national-
Korea is nationalist, it's,
national socialism,
even though they're communist.
National socialism or socialism in general is the good term where eventually you go to communism, and it's like, even with communism, it's like it's for the fatherland, it's for the motherland, but then eventually what you get.
But that sounds like a
is
nationalist perspective. National socialist,
well,
because
that's
the
the
government
thing.
controls everything.
In nationalism, I guess in a certain frame, you know what? There's no way. There's no good way to go.
Let me
about it.
ask you this, because if you look it up, it's like this, and I'm sure you already know this. I think it's fucking stupid that far right, two terms that are right there at the top with far right of types of people, nationalist and anarchist. Or no, not nationalist, fascist and anarchist. That
Those are two completely different concepts.
far right is anarchist is put on the right.
That's weird. That's
it is
weird that anarchist is put on the right.
It is a far right, like far, because it's
Well, you
no,
know what,
it's
then?
no
Well,
government.
then you know what it probably is too. Though
There's so many
there are
contradicting definitions.
There are probably people who think more left wing than us, who would say the same thing, except for that they would say that okay, so if the leftist ideal of far right is fascist anarchist, then our people, people who think more like the way we think. Well, you know what? Let's say people who are far right will probably think that it is, instead of fascist anarchist, it's socialist anarchist. And yet, once again, it all goes back to the
what
pendulum.
goes together
You
better?
go too far left to right, and it's fucking bananas. You
No.
can't do it. It takes a balance. You have to care about the people
Yes.
in your country. And yes, have a little bit of care abroad, but the people in your country come first. And
You know what
put
what
that
would
up
be a
with
good
also
balance?
letting people
Oh.
do what they want to do with their own property and their own things. But
without doing harm to others.
Mhm. But I'm sorry.
What about the term? What is there a let's see, a conservative liberal anarchist?
Conservative liberal anarchist. Are you thinking what I think you're thinking?
Who?
Are you thinking of the term narco-capitalist?
No, he kisses the wall. So no, I was really discouraged about that.
Oh, really? No, and
It was kind of sad. Before that, I still love some shit. I love the chainsaw scene, and you know what? They're getting hit hard right now in Argentina, but they had their first surplus in, I believe, multiple decades already for their first go around. So they're already. He was like, we gotta feel some pain before we get up. That crazy motherfucker was already proven right. Not said a lot,
Well, that's the thing, though.
but his ass kissing was a little weird.
Here's the thing with that. These are countries like, dude, you heard about shit in South America. I can't remember if it was during the end of the fucking Obama administration or the beginning of the Trump administration. And I don't even think it was in Argentina. It might have just been Brazil. Where was it, man? Where like the fucking the new guy came in and like within like a year. Sorry, don't mean to cut away from the. I think we need a little bit of levity here. Brr. But no, like they were like eating the fucking animals in the zoo. Was that Argentina?
You're thinking Venezuela.
Venezuela. Okay.
After all that shit with Chavez,
Yes,
and then
yes.
Maduro took over and pretty much
Yeah.
kept it going, and
Here's
it
the
got
thing.
worse.
You
But
have to-
they're signed onto that BRIC shit, so they might get this bounce back, and they're aligned with all those people with
once
BRICS
again, though,
now.
and man, there's this weird
But
balance.
they're pretty much
dude.
communist.
Dude, there's this weird balance though, right? Where like that dude, hopefully he's gonna do the right thing and he's gonna continue to do the right thing, and hopefully he won't die in some tragic plane crash or a car crash where like they
Talking about
said,
Argentina,
you're the
chainsaw dude.
Yeah, don't say the chainsaw dude. He's got a
Sorry,
real
I forget his
fucking name. I
name.
can't remember his
He's
name
he's
either.
fucking awesome. He has great sideburns. No,
He's got great
no,
sideburns.
That's not gonna happen.
Sideburn chainsaw, Argentina.
As of right now, that's not gonna happen because he kissed the wall.
Oh, yeah. But what about the dude in what about the?
And he also brought about how he said he wants to help
What
put
about-
forward to the new
what about-
temple.
What about the guy in El Salvador?
That dude's fucking amazing.
Is he?
I work with people who talk about how great he is and what he's done.
Yes, yes. Do you know what he did?
What else did he do?
He gave the police unilateral control.
That's a police
up
state.
anybody that they want. Now, that's the thing. You get to a point in your country where it is so fucking corrupt that you have to give the police that kind of power. But once they get that kind of power, you need to know how to rein it in.
Hopefully he does.
Well, you can say hopefully all you want, but we won't know.
Dude,
until
before
it
I
happens.
read about the guy,
We won't know until it happens. I didn't know about it either. I thought, how the fuck
But
is
see,
this guy doing this? Oh, he gave the police
I've been hearing about the
unilateral
last few years,
Yeah.
and I never knew his name. You hear his name more now.
Handsome.
But when he first got
I'm
in,
sorry, man. No homo. Dude's
yeah.
fucking looking good.
But I
I'd fuck
work
her.
with guys from El Salvador that talk about how like more people want to stay in the country
And
than fucking leave now. They feel safer, and they said things are getting better. But hopefully, he can rein it in. There's somebody else who did that before too.
exactly.
Now, whether
There's lots of people who did
some of that
before.
history behind some of those people was
There's lots of people who did
manipulated
that before.
or not, who's to
With
say?
that,
But-
well, no, it's not about the history being manipulated, right? Let's say that
Yeah, some
this
people
guy-
find the problem,
Well, no,
then
well,
they get
well,
rid.
well, no. What happens is this guy wants his country to be better, so he gives his country's armed forces or
Yeah.
police unilateral control. Arrest whoever you need to. Get this shit solved. Right? Awesome.
I want to know
But
the
then-
things that get you arrested that
Well,
easily.
well,
though.
well, well,
I would
that's the
think
thing.
most of it's murder and extreme corruption in the
It doesn't
state.
matter what it is. I'm sure that there's innocent people who are going to jail innocently, and it sucks. It really sucks. But here's the thing that happens. How long does that guy stay in power? When is the next election? When is it the point where he says, okay, our country is stable. We're going to rein in that unilateral power. Okay, well, you have a highly trained army that doesn't want to lose its power. And then you have a political figure who is either going to be a lifetime person or there's going to be another election. Oh, well, what do? Well, you can throw a bunch of money, sway the election towards your particular form of justice so that the people who are in absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. We talked about this. We know this. It's not, I coined that phrase.
It does
by the
get
way.
like that.
I don't know if you knew that. I coined that. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
You did?
Yes, I did. I did. You can look that shit up. No, I obviously didn't, but it's very funny to make wild, outlandish claims.
And I get what you're saying because I'm like that with power, but I don't think they've signed it on to where he has that power like that. All like they're
paperwork is paperwork, man. The people who are good at killing people,
I
and
get it, but
arresting
when you got people that need to vote certain things in, I think they still have that going.
Hey,
like
you know
they
what?
let it-
I hope it works out. I really do.
I hope, dude,
especially since
and
you
they-
have told me from the people you know, like you've.
that's
told
how
me
I learned
personally.
about him was from the people that are over here.
You would
like
hear me. You
they
would
were
hear-
like, "This is."
you
The,
heard- you
they were
heard-
like, "This motherfucker." They
your stories to me were like bananas. There were people who were like, I fucking left that country because it's a fucking shithole. And then you would
Yeah,
tell
it's
me
people
about
that
some
said
people
that
who are
that
like,
are
I
like-
raped 5 12-year-olds and it's fucking the greatest country in the world. I don't, it's like there's this weird
the ones that
duality
say it's the greatest country were delusional. But a few of the guys that I worked with that always loved their country, they love El Salvador. It's a beautiful country. I've seen a lot of pictures and stuff, and I get it. But it was the guys that were like that about it, and that were like, man, people don't want to leave now.
Good.
People don't want to.
And that's what you
and
want.
I gotta
That's
tell
what you
you,
want in a country.
we
You want to keep your
El
people in your
Salvador
country.
is a fucking tiny
It's a dot.
country. Most of the people in our company are from El Salvador. I was like, I can only imagine. Like, I mean, So to hear that, and it's only so many guys, and granted, the guy that also told me this, and maybe it doesn't make sense in some ways saying this, but he looks into shit and believes a lot of shit. He listened to Alex Jones and shit like that, you know. Others he doesn't like. It's weird because he doesn't like a lot and trust a lot of governments, but
I wouldn't.
as bad as that country has been
Dude,
off
I don't
for
like
a while.
or trust our government left or right.
Oh, fuck no, man. No, our government's fucking evil, dude. Our government takes better care of fucking people coming over here illegally, and they don't even want you to say illegal than they do us, than people who fucking fought for the country.
This is what I wanted to get into. I wanted to get into this immediately, but I'm glad we kind of, like softballed it in there. Because this was the thing we were talking about. Dude, I've seen a lot of videos, dude, especially in the cities. There are homeless people who are like screaming outside of like motels, hotels. You said schools, apparently. There's any building that has lots of rooms that they're using to accommodate these illegal immigrants. We have homeless people here who can't get into those buildings.
They're getting in. They're putting them
They're
up in
getting
luxury
fucked.
hotels.
I don't. The quality of the hotel is irrelevant. I don't want homeless people in hotels. I don't want homeless people to be homeless. But
I'll tell you what's scary with some of
bring
this.
another group of people from another country, and they literally get to like live in like, it's like, you know what? I don't, because well, the thing is, the same reason I don't want it to happen with these illegal immigrants is the same reason I don't want it to happen to these homeless people. You don't want to coddle these people. If you give them a home and you give them an allowance and you give them all these things, they won't become productive members of society. Some of them will. Some of them will. But most of them will take advantage of the system. And that's what's happening here. And there are homeless people who are getting upset about it. And this is a theory of mine. And I'd like to throw this theory out there because we're not getting a lot of traction on this. So I want to say something that most people may think is really offensive, but I think it's a valid theory. Give me this rant. That's fine. Give me this rant, and then I'll let you can talk the rest of the podcast for all I care. The Democrat Party has been fucking over the Black American community for 5 decades. And then when they noticed that the Black community historically voted for a Republican, it's Trump. It doesn't matter if it's Trump. Black Americans all across the country historically voted in larger numbers for a Republican president, and basically the Democratic Party saw the writing on the wall. Oh, shit. We can't fuck over the African American community anymore. They're waking up. We can't rely on them for the Democratic vote anymore. So we need to open up the borders. We need to get a new voting block in here so that we can have some majority vote. You can't create a majority vote out of nothing, so you flood the country with people. You give them everything that they want, and you let them know, hey, the Democrats did this for you. And then what you'll get is another 50 to 150 years of golden handcuffed people who, as long as you keep voting for us and you never become more important than we want you to be, you can have your flat screen TV. You can live in your shitty roach-infested apartment, and, you never have to have any kind of responsibility. Just keep voting Democrat. Just keep doing it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I know,
That
but
was
that's the
perfect.
reaction that would come to that.
Exactly. Thank you. That was awesome. I love this fucking thing, by the way. I hate to break the fourth wall on this. We're going to stop doing that, but that was a pretty good button push right there. Thanks, man. But anyways,
I was just rolling with. No, I agree. I agree.
It sucks in one way.
What do you think about the fact that a lot of these places where they're really letting it overflow have passed shit to where illegal immigrants can now become police officers? Yeah, that's a thing in a lot of cities.
I will tell you to look into this, and I will tell all of our. You know what? I say 15. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna tell all the nine of our listeners to look this up. If you didn't already know it, go out there and educate as many people as you can, and then tell them about us, because I'm really getting tired of writing this on porta potty walls. Our podcast, not this message. Look up how the Roman Empire fell. The Roman Empire fell by allowing other countries to join their armies. They had no interest in the well-being of Rome. They had an interest in the well-being of Spain, of Germany, of all the surrounding countries. They had no interest in Rome. Why would they? They were conquered by another place. Why would they have any interest? We're not even conquering Mexico or South America. We're just letting them come in and giving them
they were spread thin in bullshit areas and then infiltrated by barbarians.
Yeah.
Essentially,
yeah,
in a lot of ways. There's other stuff,
you can
like
say-
the bloating of the currency
wait a
and
minute,
the
wait a
dumbing it down of the society.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No, nobody wants to talk about that. See, because you know what happens? You used to be able to bite into a gold coin. You know that's where that came from, right?
Oh yeah.
Gold coins, you could bite into it, and because gold was a relatively soft metal, you could bite into it and know you were biting into gold. But then when the Roman Empire started filling in their gold coins with other metals, you could figure out if it was a gold coin or not by biting into it. Well, it's very hard to bite into a dollar bill, but it is easy to see that 10 years ago you could get a double cheeseburger for $1.15. And now it's, why even go to McDonald's? Why even go to McDonald's? You know what? I go to McDonald's. And let's say I paid for lunch for me and 3 other people, $40. Why the fuck would I do that? The only difference between going to McDonald's and buying lunch and going to a restaurant like Applebee's is literally time. The time it takes them to make a good hamburger for you. It's the only difference.
I love good hamburgers.
Exactly. Guess what? McDonald's don't even do that. Their whole thing was, we're going to make you a gray meat sandwich for $1. Go to our drive-thru, fill your fucking gullet, and go continue to be a good tax cattle. Fuck that. Go to fucking Applebee's, get you a nice fucking juicy hamburger that they'll cook the way you want within reason. You know, most of them won't make a rare hamburger. When we went to Fuddruckers, I really think that we said something to them and they were like, okay. And then they made us a fucked up hamburger. They shouldn't have done that. No.
Oh, that's right. Didn't we say like medium rare burger or something?
I don't know if we said medium
It wasn't
rare.
medium rare though.
It was rare as fuck. I want to go back
But
to
what did we do?
We ate that shit.
We were like,
we were fucking like pussies who weren't gonna be like, this isn't made right. Actually, I don't think we were as much pussies.
but
as
it
we were
tastes
like,
good.
We're alive. But did you
Hey, man,
die? But did you die?
Nope.
And now I eat sushi
Ryan,
and shit.
that shit was good.
Dude, I eat gas station sushi and I buy fucking street meat.
Woo!
We
Street
haven't
meat's
had we
pretty
haven't
good.
we haven't had street meat since we lived in Fredericksburg. Remember that guy?
Street
Wait,
meat.
maybe you weren't
Is
there.
that a
Maybe-
prostitute?
No.
Sorry.
Remember when we used to get fucking pizza from Vicelli's and we used to give them super high tips because it was hard to find our fucking house?
Yeah.
I don't know if you left at this point, but we had a guy who used to sell fucking steaks out of a van. he came to our house and he was like, "Hey man, I used to work at Vicelli's and you guys did like really good tips. I just remember where you guys lived and I just wanted to know if you guys wanted to buy some of this meat." And like at the time I was like, I don't have any money right now, but I would love to buy some sketchy meat from your van.
Sketchy meat.
Dude. Yeah, I know, right?
Sure, it wasn't a prostitute. Sorry.
I mean, we're all
All right, I'm
prostitutes.
big dumb. He's a total whore.
But no, it was one of those funny, just one of those funny things. But it was like, yeah, dude, people are starting to see the writing on the wall. And it really sucks that it took them so fucking long to see that. But going back to my original argument, like the black community is like, yeah, it's really hard for me to believe that I live in Detroit with a Democratic DA and a Democratic police chief and Democratic senators and Democratic congressmen and Democratic district officials. I live in a shit part of this country. It's very hard for me to believe that it's a Republican doing this when every single part of my government where I live is Democratic, And then I think what the Democrats were trying to do, even with like legal immigration, they were like, yeah, man, we're gonna get some Hispanics in here, right? And they're gonna get mingled in with the black vote. And then they started to discover that, like, especially in Mexico, that it's like, wow, people who want to come into this country legally, it turns out that there are like a lot of Orthodox Catholics and they have very conservative views and they have more in common with the religious Americans who are here than they do with their fucking and once again, it's like, I don't want to completely blame it on the Democrats. Like the Democrats like have this like, to me, like this evil hedonistic kind of fucking thing on the far left. And then on the far right, the Republicans have like this totalitarian fucking thing. If they got their way, they would have
I don't know,
this.
man. I believe a lot of the worst Republicans are the so-called middle of the road ones because they're nothing but the fucking Democrats, except for
the
they
rhinos.
act like the rhinos. It sucks that it's like that. Some of the people that are called far right, it's kind of weird. I don't think Rand Paul should be called far right. I don't think his fucking father, Ron Paul, who didn't learn as much. I learned a lot more about him later.
Mm-hmm.
I knew about him when I was into all this stuff, but after he retired, and I was like, God damn it. That dude had the right. That's another one. I'm surprised. I guess if he got bigger, he probably would have gotten it because of some of the shit he promoted, like ending the Fed. But
I wish I would have remembered this senator's name, because here. You know what? You want an example of how fucked up either side can be?
Yeah.
I saw this senator, and he was saying, I want, specifically with the border crisis, he was told by his party, the GOP, not to sign off on any type of legislation at this point in time during the election season. Do not sign off on anything that is going to help the immigrant crisis. So, meaning, do not do anything that's going to solve this problem right now, because this is an election cycle, and if we don't solve this problem during a Democrat administration, that gives us an even better chance to have the next administration be a Republican administration. That is fucked up.
It is fucked up, but some of the shit in that bill, I get why they didn't sign it.
Do you know what that bill was?
Oh, yeah. I know the one. They tried to say Trump was saying, don't fucking sign the bill.
No. This wasn't during the Trump administration, I don't think. I think this is like now.
No, Trump told them, like, running right now. That's what they try to say. Don't sign the bill. The shit in the bill gave the president specific powers that he could do with a fucking executive order. It also included funding those fucking wars, which is weird how they pass bills that get money, because it's like bills are pretty much checks, it seems like. Now,
You
I
know
don't know
what
if
I
it
want?
seems like that to you, but anyway, I'm going into a
No,
different thing.
you go for
but
it.
It's like, no, it's like that though. A bill is a check, pretty much. We're gonna pass this bill,
Okay,
and then there's
okay.
some laws, and then we're giving money to
Okay,
people in
so-
the process.
okay,
It's
well, then-
stupid.
then this-
but it
this-
gives
this is
him
a
powers.
perfect
Like so
example.
many people, the president can shut the border down, but then open it again whenever he wants.
Okay. Okay.
So it can be
this-
manipulated.
well, then this is a perfect example of that. Then you knew a little bit more about that bill than I did. So on the surface, I see this Republican senator, and to me, I'm like, "Fuck yeah, man! Yeah, man! You seem like fucking up and up, man. You know what? I don't live in your state, but if I did, I'd vote for you." But at the same time, it's like, okay, is he voting? Is he really voting in his constituents' interest? Or is he voting for to either to currently stay in power or to in the future set himself up to become more powerful than he is right now?
Oh, that's always a part of it with all of them, man.
I don't
Depending
like
on
it.
where
I
they're.
don't
Oh
like it.
no, I fucking
know
hate
what?
it. And you know what? What sucks is the only one in term limits is part of that fucking
Here's-
problem. That's why there's
oh.
fucking rotten corpses
You know what?
that have been serving that long
Dude,
in there.
and I've mentioned this guy before. This is the only person who I don't know his real name, but I can tell you his fucking YouTube thing. It's the only person I think I've actually been able to reference by his actual YouTube handle. Wrangler Star made a really good point. And I actually referenced it earlier. What's the average age of a senator? 70, 80?
I would say at least 65 to 70 is probably the average.
65 to 70.
Or a
Well, you know what?
congressperson
Okay,
even.
you know what? I would say, you say 65, 70. I say fucking 70 to 75 or 70 to 80. How many 65 to 80-year-olds do we let drive a vehicle?
Exactly.
But they can make policies.
Dude, and
They
there's
can make policies
and a
that
lot of those
change
people
our country.
are fucking a lot of them, because they want power, have a fucking sociopath mentality.
Here's what you do.
They don't give a fuck. They can turn off emotion. So you got to think this, and you can look at a lot of stuff. This is why people are like so pissed off. Like, look at all the fucked up shit they pass, but they benefit themselves and some of the shit for the here and now. But there's going to be massive consequences down the road, like kicking the fucking can down the road. We're not going to have to worry about this debt because we'll be dead. Yeah, no shit. When shit hits the fan, all these motherfuckers are going to be in the ground when it's fucking dystopia time, and because of their decisions.
I'm gonna add a little bit of comedy to this.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm gonna add a little bit of comedy. I want taxpayer money to fund this. I really do. I want taxpayer money to fund this. You can start it at a particular thing. I want to start it at congressman, because sometimes I feel like you go congressman, senator, president, you know? But no matter how it goes, you start in the Congress. I want taxpayer funded, the most realistic wax mannequin you can make of that politician, right? Right off the bat. And then you take a hot air gun to it. The second they're sworn in for any amount of government, you melt it down. Just give it a little light hit with the hot air gun, you know. And then the moment they look like their melted wax sculpture version of themselves, you're no longer allowed to be a congressman or a senator. Nancy Pelosi, gone.
Ryan.
John McCain, before he died, gone. Mitch McConnell, gone.
You're right. And you know what? You know what's a good example? Look how far they'll take themselves. They are that fucking hungry to where common sense won't kick in. Fucking Dianne Feinstein was long gone and fucking died while she was in office. Mitch McConnell was like fucking Joe Biden or worse up there with when he'll just like stand there while after saying a few words. Why do you have the, and these are people that had leadership.
How old is the average death age of a Supreme Court justice? Do you know that?
I'm
That's a
sure it's
good
in
question.
their 90s.
How old was Ruth Bader Ginsburg? I want to look that up.
I would say late 80s at least. And they were pissed at her. Her side was pissed at her up because she died. Because, Trump got the goddamn. Woo, that had to be a bitter blow for them. Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies and Donald Trump gets to fucking pick her appointee. Ugh.
I'm just, you know what? The internet sucks. It's moving as
Yeah, I
slow.
don't get the lifetime appointments for.
Okay, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died at 87.
Okay, late 80s.
I don't care. Cut off 75.
But see, you're
Supreme
giving.
Court justices? Nah. Cut off 75.
But at the same time,
and they should take the walk into the cursed earth, like in Judge Dredd.
now with them, because it's not like they're passing laws, they're uphold. And there are times where I get both sides have gotten extremely pissed off, like it's all against them. But what about this? As back and forth as they've been, they don't have to run for re-election. Like, are you giving one term? If they have to run, I think that makes them more corrupt.
No. That's the thing. No, I don't want them to run.
Well, you know what?
I want there to be
Look,
an
man,
age
everybody
limit.
shits on them, but I feel like
Wait
there's
a minute.
nothing.
Do you think that if we made a cutoff for the age, then it would cause the next group of judges to kind of create a like, oh shit, RGB's
Are you
coming
going to
up
cut
on
off? Are you going to cut
That's
off
the-
at the age, or are you going to make them run? Is that what you're
No.
saying?
I don't
like,
want them.
What
I don't
would
want
be
them-
the age?
That's what I'm saying. Fucking 80. Cut it at 80. Cut it at 75. But no, I get what you're saying.
75.
Well, no, but no.
All right,
no,
you
no,
want to
but
cut
no.
the age? I get
But
that.
no,
I was going to say.
but
I
no,
thought you were going
no,
to say
what-
make them run.
No, that's the thing.
Fuck that.
No, you know what? My plan is just as shitty as what you thought my plan was going to be. If, let's say, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's coming up at 80, right? And that's the cutoff age, right? So they know she's going. No matter what, by the time she's 80, she's gone. Within the next year, okay, you turn 80 in fucking, January. Okay, so by December, we're going to have a new. No, she's not going to run. But there's going to be a long line of corrupt fucking judges who want to fucking suck a president's dick. So, yeah, I get you on that. You know what? As crazy it is as
Well,
it
I
is.
mean,
As crazy
if they got to
as it is, you
retire,
make
and
a
I
good
guess
point.
that president
Well, no, like
picks them.
as crazy as it is, like you said, they have had a pretty decent track record of upholding the Constitution to a point. We'll have to see what happens to that. What was her name? Fucking something Jackson.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Well, I'll tell you a good example is they ruled in favor of Trump 9-0 on something not too long ago. But a lot of people think the other one that's more important, and it kind of holds all presidents accountable afterwards, which I think it should go to the past, because then you could try Bush with war crimes, is something about after they get out of office, their presidential immunity doesn't count anymore. So that means, like, if they did something while still in office, they can do that depending on what it is. And
damn. And you know what, dude?
but the same,
You know what? And I'm sorry, because I know we're going on a really long thing here about government corruption. But you know what I thought about the other day?
Hmm.
You know how, like, oh, you know what's fucked up? You know what's fucked up? Fucking George W. Bush, him on his big ass fucking ranch, Obama, him on his big ass fucking government compound, whatever president's still alive, they have like these massive tracts of land, right?
yes.
Now, don't get me wrong. If I never had to drive another day in my life,
It'd be pretty sweet.
it would be the fucking sweetest. But imagine.
I don't know, unless I wanted to listen to Come Sail Away by Styx.
but
I like to do
imagine-
that by
but
myself,
imagine
because I
you
kind
were-
of have like a little.
But imagine you were never, ever, ever allowed to drive anywhere. Anywhere. Right? Like anywhere. Anywhere you go, you have to, even after you leave office, Trump does not get in a car and drive around. He has some. Now I get it. He was a businessman. He's probably had people driving him around, find him, whatever. Obama's not allowed to get in a fucking SUV and fucking tool on down to the 7-Eleven, right?
They know too much.
It's not about them knowing too much, but they're too powerful. So imagine you
Too
one of these-
powerful?
Imagine
They also know shit.
Yeah,
This
but yeah,
motherfucker's gonna go
they
rogue
know
and we
shit,
can't
but
get to him.
Imagine you just wanted to get in a car and fucking drive, dude. You're not allowed to, unless you're on your own property. A former president, cannot drive anywhere.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it, man. Yeah, dude, just give every president like a racetrack. You know, they don't need to have a fucking ranch in Texas. Just give them a racetrack they can fucking drive around on, like a fucking RC, like those little fucking RC cars with the little triggers that were on the tracks. Give them a fucking Busch Gardens bumper car. Can't go off the tracks. Biden, that'll really be good for. We don't need him tipping over. Well, we could probably tip over.
That'd be pretty funny to me. I don't know. Then look what's in line. Never mind. It all sucks.
Dude, no. They would, what was that? What was the thing that fucking Trump was talking about? I want to say it was 54, but it's not 54. There was some amendment, a fucking presidential amendment that was like, you know, if the president is no longer cognitively, you know, and that, like,
Was it 25th?
Is that what it was? The
I believe-
25th. And Trump was like, this isn't for me. This is for him.
Dude, they were making the
Kamala
media
Harris-
did a thing
dude,
where they had Trump take, and he did it. He did the cognitive
but
test.
still, Kamala Harris, they would throw that shit at her with every fucking weapon in their disposal. Like, I'll take a cognitive test. No, bitch, you're a fucking retard. We got plenty of shit on you not doing anything. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Hey, you know what? Dude, think of the last couple of vice presidents. You knew, even Biden, when he was the vice president, you heard Biden. You heard about Biden.
No, she's like the Democrat Dan Quayle.
Dude, she disappeared. I didn't know about Dan Quayle.
I didn't either, but I didn't hear much about him doing anything
That
except
was- I
spelling
mean-
potato wrong.
Yeah, you hear about that, but I mean, dude,
That's a
dude,
Kamala
fucking-
Harris shit
dude,
right there.
Look, Dick Cheney, you heard
Oh,
about
well,
him.
Dick Cheney ran the fucking show.
Yeah, but even
I don't
still
know.
though, like, you heard about Dick